Okay, so here's the next version of the Binkley Flextender. As you can see here, all 5 of the extensors, which are 30-pound fishing line, run through a single hole now and are secured by a single set screw. So I've given it a little bit more play, and as you can see, it swings pretty easily. Somebody had a concern that it wasn't showing all different parts of the range, but you can see here it opens. It can open a little bit or a lot. Same thing with closing. It can close slowly there and then open. Okay, and I've got it loosened a little bit so that it doesn't really require very much force to get it open and closed. I just need to give this mechanism a little bit more range so that this can close all the way. It's not closing all the way, and that's because the little pivot, you can see the pivot sticking out here. The pivot's attached at 3 points. It's not going quite long enough. Okay, this little pivot piece, it catches on the flexor cable block, so that's sort of what stops it. So I can definitely fix that. It's not a problem. But, so the way that this works is the flexors work just the same as any other cable Mick and hand. The extensor, though, is on a you've got this rigid rod here that pushes back the middle part of the pivot. You can see the pivot sticking out here. Okay, so the pivot is anchored here right underneath this screw. The rod attaches or swings on the pivot in the middle, and then on the end of this of the pivot here is where this extensor anchor is attached. And so when I extend the wrist, it pushes this rod, this rigid rod that pushes the pivot and pulls back on the flexor cables, and thereby extends the fingers. Right. So that's how it works. It's I'd say getting pretty close to being able to put it on an actual person.